And for a lot of guys, it just turns into this. It becomes a big, long, drawn out fucking argument where you got these guys talking about, you know, their experiences, the killed in the streets thing. Dude, just stop with that shit, man. Like, okay, I got it. You don't compete. I would be willing to bet, like, if we meet on a range somewhere and let's shoot, your skills and abilities aren't very good, right? Or they're good for you, but like across the board, you use other things to make excuses, other ideologies, ideals, shit like that, the tactical umbrella that you get under as an excuse to be really fucking bad with your tools. And that's been my experience with those people. I'm not saying everybody's like that. That's just been my experience with those people. So I heard today that what law enforcement guys need is fundamentals. All right, let me ask you this. I get it. They need that, right? You learn that in the academies, how to pull the trigger. There's very basic fundamentals, right? And then what law enforcement guys don't need is high-level competition stuff. Nobody is teaching or trying to teach law enforcement dudes high-level competition techniques, right? If that's even a thing. Not teaching them how to stage plan or anything like that. At least I'm not. But if you don't think that a very new USPSA shooter, a very new practical shooter that has nothing to do with law enforcement, doesn't train in fundamentals, you're talking about something you don't know anything about. Because that is, I get you got to have the basics, firearm safety, shit like that, and then there's all different ways to train very basic fundamentals, right? Which every law enforcement, credentialed law enforcement officer has trained fundamentals. The difference between taking a practical approach to training, like a competitive guy or a law enforcement guy, is the game of USPSA stresses fundamentals executed at speed, right? Not the speeds that are associated with any fucking law enforcement qual, right? Draw, shoot 3 rounds, reload, shoot 3 more rounds in 12 seconds. That is a liability thing. I think that's something that you have to get out of, right? Very, very quickly if you are a full up round, like law enforcement or military guy. USPSA stresses the balance of kind of speed and accuracy, right? Executing fundamentals at very, very fast speeds. Hold on, we got some people that want to join. Fast speeds. And
hey, brother.
This idea, what's up, Mike? Sorry. This idea that law enforcement needs fundamentals like they need a fucking hole in the head, right? They need fundamentals with some other things, fundamentals at speed, right? They need aiming strategies and engagement strategies that mimic the things that they are going to see in a real engagement, right? Not things that are to the quals, not shit that happens at the 25-yard line on reduced size aiming. Like, yes, that is an important skill. That is a demonstration of a technique. But that's not, in my opinion, from what I've seen and what I've learned over the last few years, that's not what the engagements that they get into. So this idea, I get it. You can have your opinions. You can have your ideas, and we can talk about them. But don't talk about things that you don't know anything about, right? In my opinion.
I've been watching since you opened up. I just had this conversation with somebody out in California, so it's kind of like fresh in my mind. One thing real quick, man, before we freaking really jump off and get after it, people need to understand that USPSA is not training. It's not training. It's a validation of basic skills. So if your training is good and you shoot a match, you go, hey, I'm good at this. Wow, I'm not so good at this. I can't make these shots at distance. It validates your skill set. It is not training. It's a standardized drill that we all shoot. And we see who shoots it the best. and you get to see if your skills are what you thought they were. So that's the first thing. Like, I see a lot of guys say, well, it's bad training. It's not training. It's not.